My money got seized by the police. They seized $39,500.
Meet Jerry. He lives just outside Charlotte, North Carolina.
I'm a truck driver, owner of Triple J Logistics.
Jerry manages 2 trucks and 2 drivers. He used the trucking industry to turn his life around after leaving prison a decade ago.
I got my commercial driver's license in 2012 when I got out of prison. I started my company in 2015.
With his business going well, Jerry looked into expanding his fleet.
I was looking to add on a third truck to increase my revenue of my company.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Trucking with Old Snapper, and I'm your host, Old Snapper. Hope everyone out there is doing great, staying safe, staying out of trouble. Hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. We're fast approaching December. December and January and February are typically not great months within freight. Freight hasn't been good since probably, I don't know, when do y'all think it got bad? Probably March or April, I think is when it started to get bad. If you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe. All that great stuff that the YouTubers like to tell you. I appreciate all of y'all for stopping by. We're going to get off into this here. And this is some news that came out a couple days ago. I remember reading this story a few months back. And apparently there's some updates to it. Some of y'all may have heard of the man from, I believe he's from North Carolina or South Carolina, who went out to Arizona. He was going to buy a truck. I'm going to read some of this article to you. It says Arizona cops are sued for refusing to return $40,000 in cash seized from a trucking boss who was traveling to buy a new rig, after they accused him of being a drug dealer with no evidence. All right. It's North Carolina. It says a North Carolina trucker has waged war against the entire police department in Phoenix, Arizona, after officers seized $39,500 in cash from him at a local airport, alleging it was drug money. The suit filed in April by Triple J Trucking owner Jerry Johnson demands the sum returned in full for what he slammed as false accusations by the force who seized the money during an August 2020 stop at a Phoenix Sky Harbor International Airport. Johnson, the owner and operator of his Charlotte-based business, alleges the seizure was unjust, confident he could find a deal at an auction in Phoenix, the suit states. Johnson flew domestically with the cash from Charlotte to the Arizona City. I don't know why they just say flew from Charlotte to Phoenix. Why they the Arizona City? Dang weirdos. Sorry, ADD got me. But was quickly jammed up by detectives who questioned him about the perfectly legal haul. The suit adds that during this supposed routine stop, investigators became adamant that Johnson, a middle-aged black man, was in the process of laundering the money as part of an illegal drug trade. Eventually, under the threat of arrest and further interrogation, Johnson cooperated with detectives by handing over $39,500. Cops have refused to return the sum, standing by their initial assessment. On Monday, a crucial development in the New Year's long legal saga, a libertarian-leaning public interest law firm filed an appeal in Arizona on Johnson's behalf, after the suit was tossed last year by a local judge. The amended complaint reveals that more than 2 years later, Johnson is still without his money and has yet to be charged with a crime. All right, I'm going to leave a link down in the description where y'all can check this out. But I went and did some research. On domestic flights, there is no law that states how much money you can carry with you. None whatsoever. I thought there was a law that said you couldn't carry more than 10 grand in cash on you, which I've always been a little bit concerned with because I carry a little bit of cash on me in the truck, but there's no such law. I actually got into researching that. There is no such law, period. You can carry as much cash on you as you want. Probably not the brightest idea, but you can. Now, there is, whenever you fly internationally, leaving the country, that's a whole different thing. That's a whole different set of circumstances, but not on domestic travel, not even on an airline. Um, Now, this article here, I mean, I don't know. You kind of would have had to have been there to see how the interrogation went. I don't understand why he took 39,500 in cash. Why that amount? How he knew he would get a truck out there for that amount. I'm not understanding that. Maybe that may be something that the law is looking into. Another thing that is really weird is 39,500 comes to just about almost exactly what you'd need for 2 kilos of cocaine. So that may be something else they're looking at, because that is almost exactly on point for what you would need for that. But that being said, now let's play devil's advocate here. Let's say he was going to get drugs or something out there. Flying to Arizona wouldn't make any sense because he's still got to get the drugs back, and he's not taking them on a plane. Not nowadays, So he'd have needed to rent a car or something out there to come back with. Um, so I would be wondering, did he have a return flight? Because if he had a return flight, he wasn't out there buying drugs. He was out there going to buy a truck, you know, and then he would have went back and got the truck later whenever he got everything situated to be able to drive the truck home. Now, generally, when people buy trucks at auction, they go out with a truck and trailer, or some way of towing that truck back to wherever they're from, right? Now, here's the other thing. It makes no sense for him to go all the way to Arizona to buy drugs when he can get the same drugs actually cheaper in Florida. I mean, just a few hours down the road from him. Um, it's actually a little bit more plentiful as well in Florida than it is in Arizona. Now, if he was in Laredo, Texas, that might be a little bit different story. They're a little bit cheap. It's a little bit cheaper there than it is in Florida. But Arizona is a little bit higher than Florida. So, not quite understanding that either. And for the law enforcement to have gone 2 years and they haven't proven their case, they won't make a statement on it, and they won't give him his money back. Now, that's getting a little bit excessive. If they had if there was an informant somewhere that informed them that he was coming and he was going to buy some drugs or whatever, they should have already came out with that evidence. Um, I don't know what the statute of limitations is out there in Arizona, but they're on a time clock as to how long they have before they can file charges on this man. I'm gonna be honest with you though. In this part, I'm gonna tell my opinion. I don't think he was out there buying drugs. I think he went out there legitimately to look for a truck. Might have heard about an auction. Maybe he had a friend going out there, gonna meet him up, gonna fly out there and buy a truck. Um, I believe law enforcement made a mistake here. And as we know, when it comes to law enforcement, they do not like admitting mistakes. But I believe in this case, they made a mistake. Why they're not releasing the money, I'm not. 39. Let's look. $39,000 in the scheme of things is not that much money. So for a state to want to hold $39,000 just doesn't make sense. It's not that much money. It's really not. Now, if it was 3.9 million, then I'd say the state's trying to keep the money. But $39,000, I mean, they probably charged off that much hiring a crew to put in a stop sign. So I don't see them. I don't see what the big deal is and why they're trying to keep $39,000 or $39,500. Why not just give it back to the man? Um, it kind of frustrates me, because this gentleman he's a business owner. He legitly has a business. There's a name on his business. That right there should have been enough for them to say that his money was legit and leave him alone. All right. Now, something I don't like mentioning at all because I think it's a cop out and I think it's used way too much is the race card. All right. I think the race card is used way too much, way too often. But in this situation, I'm going to use it because I believe it's legit to be used. If if a white male had done this, would he be facing the same problem? Let's say I flew out there with 39,500 in cash on me to buy a truck. Would law enforcement helm me up, take my money from me, and hold it and accuse me of being out there buying drugs? Yeah, just as many white people buy drugs as black people or Hispanic people, right? So I kind of have to wonder if they didn't automatically assume on his race and they're trying to build a case, but there is no case to build. But that's just completely that's just Snapper's opinion on that situation. If they did, they're 100% in the wrong and they need to return the man's money. And in my opinion, they need to return his money with interest. And he should get the money that he lost in revenue had he owned a truck since August of 2020, had he owned another truck. So I believe the state of Arizona owes him quite a bit of money, and makes me not want to go to Arizona. I don't know about the rest of y'all. We got people up there protesting this and protesting that. I think this right here is legitimately something that should be protested. This is something I can stand behind. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but this is something I can stand behind right here. This is something that's legitimately a problem in my opinion. Now, granted, I'm only seeing what's being put out there. I wasn't there when he was interrogated. Don't know what was said. Don't know the situation. Don't know, you know what I'm saying? So there might be more to it. But going off just what's been put out in the news, what's been talked about, both in the article I read a few months ago, this article here, and I'm going to see if I can find that other article and link it down below as well. Because I believe he already owned a truck. He was going out there to buy another truck. But what do y'all think? What do y'all think, American truckers? What's y'all's opinion on this situation? Do y'all think it's legit? Do y'all think he was out there buying drugs? Do you think the state of Arizona's in the wrong? And why isn't this a bigger deal than what it is? In my opinion, this should be a lot bigger deal. There should be, everybody should be throwing a fit over this. It's wrong. It's wrong. You know, take race completely out of it. As drivers, we don't get treated that well as it is. We're outcasted by society. They're nowadays when they build truck stops, they build them outside of town, not even within walking distance of a store. They don't really want us there. And yes, I get it. I completely get it. I know drivers throw crap bags out. They throw piss bottles out. Um, I've seen drivers get out of their truck in their boxers and piss in the parking lot. I mean, you name it, you see it. And I understand that people don't want that next to their neighborhoods. I completely get it. But it sucks. It still sucks. It sucks that society looks at all of us that way. And it sucks that this driver's being treated that way. How would you feel if $39,500 of your money was held up, not knowing whether you were going to get it back? It's not a carrying no interest, and you can't use those funds for your business or to buy another truck as you intended to. It's just wrong. Let me know y'all's thoughts down below in the comments. I look forward to reading them. Y'all take care. Stay safe. Remember, we are all family. Please keep Mr. Johnson here in your thoughts and prayers. And if you stopped going to Arizona, I wouldn't blame you. Keep trucking.